What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and today we have some very big and very interesting news about Marvel Studios and Disney, specifically about Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios. As a brand new report today tells us that Kevin Feige might not be the president of Marvel Studios for that much longer. Now, this isn't due to him being fired or anything like that, but a brand new report from an insider suggests that Kevin Feige might actually be eyeing a different job at Disney. Now, I know this may be a big shock to a lot of people and may sound extremely weird. Kevin Feige created the MCU basically. He started with Iron Man and he's been there since the beginning. He also started working with Marvel since the very first X-Men film. From there, he's worked on all of the X-Men films over in the Fox universe, the Spider-Man films with Sam Raimi, Daredevil, many different Marvel properties since the start of the very first X-Men film. So the thought of Kevin Feige not being with Marvel Studios is kind of far-fetched. However, the job that he is reportedly eyeing would still have him in charge, basically, over Marvel Studios. So if you're worried, don't be too worried. However, I would like to know your thoughts right away in the comments down below. What would you think if Kevin Feige moved up in Disney and was no longer the president of Marvel Studios? Now, you may have heard about this news over the past couple of days. Many people have been reporting about this, and I believe most of the headlines read, Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige wants new job at Disney. And there is actually some good evidence out there that suggests that this might be true. But before we get into that, let's talk about the actual report. This is coming from insider Jeff Snyder from the Hot Mic podcast. Jeff Snyder has been known to hear some insider information over at Disney and Marvel Studios. In fact, he was the one that told us first that Harrison Ford was cast as Red Hulk / Thunderbolt Ross. And in the latest episode of the Hot Mic podcast, he said, I've heard the job that Kevin has always coveted is that of Alan Bergman. Now, if you know what this job is, if you know what the job of Alan Bergman is, it makes sense that Kevin Feige would want this job. It would be the chairman of Walt Disney Studios, and it would have Kevin Feige overseeing all of Disney's movies and streaming platforms. This includes Marvel Studios. It also includes Lucasfilm, Pixar, and 20th Century Studios. So this would essentially be everything, literally every movie or show that Disney produces. It would be Marvel, it would be Star Wars, Avatar, new animated movies. If they did a Pixar movie, another Toy Story movie, a spinoff. If Kevin Feige was in that position, he would be in charge over all of these properties. So he would still be involved with Marvel. Now here's where the talk of Kevin Feige stepping in to take over his job comes in. After Walt Disney did all of its restructuring and Bob Iger came back, Alan Bergman was promoted to the co-chairman of Disney Entertainment. Again, this puts him in charge of everything Disney, movies, and shows, and also music. But some insiders believe that Alan Bergman's new promotion sets him up as a potential candidate to succeed Bob Iger. So Alan Bergman could be the next CEO of Disney. Now, this is just speculation at this point. This is not confirmed. However, we do know that Bob Iger is only here for about a few years. He came back to kind of help Disney get things back in order and to train a new successor. Basically, to train somebody to be him. And since Alan Bergman is essentially number 2 now at Disney under Bob Iger, it would make sense that he would kind of be next in line to take Bob Iger's spot. And since he just got a promotion, he's clearly liked by Bob Iger. So again, while this is just speculation at the moment and is not confirmed, it is incredibly possible. And if you put all the pieces together, it does seem likely. So if what Jeff Snyder has heard is true, and the position that Kevin Feige wants is to be in charge over all media essentially at Disney, well, that position might be open pretty soon. The role that Kevin Feige wants, he might actually get, but unfortunately, this would require him to leave his position over at Marvel Studios, which is really crazy to hear, especially if you consider before that Kevin Feige has actually said in the past that he doesn't want to be in charge of another studio like Star Wars. When all of the rumors about Kathleen Kennedy being fired were going around, some people asked Kevin Feige if he would want to be in charge of Star Wars, and he said no. However, that could be because he doesn't want to be in charge of Marvel Studios and Star Wars at the same time. Those are two really, really big positions to have at the same time, but they are also very different than holding the position that oversees everything. Because as president of Marvel Studios, he oversees literally everything. He is involved in all of the intricate details with every movie. He's there for a lot of the meetings, he approves of everything, and he's involved in every step of the process. However, if he got this new position, he would pretty much just see it at the end. Yes, there would be some oversight throughout the entire process of making movies and deciding what Marvel Studios and Lucasfilm and other studios are going to do. However, this would not involve him being as hands-on. So whereas if Kevin Feige was president of Marvel Studios and Lucasfilm at the same time, that might stretch him too thin. If he got the promotion overseeing everything, he wouldn't be stretched too thin because he wouldn't be as involved as he was before. And also, keep this in mind, even though he said that he wouldn't want to be in charge of another studio, he has been tapped to produce a new Star Wars movie. And his writer for that movie is Michael Waldron, who wrote Loki Season 1, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and as of right now is writing Avengers Secret Wars. So although he is not in charge of Lucasfilm by any means right now, he is dipping his toe over in the Star Wars universe. And the reason they wanted him to do this is because he has done an incredible job over at Marvel Studios. The Infinity Saga for the MCU was amazing. It was something that really nobody else had really done to the full extent that Marvel Studios did ever before. And despite what some people would say, it really did change cinema and the movie industry forever. Think about how many other studios are producing cinematic universes now. Nintendo, with the launch of Super Mario Bros., is launching their own Nintendo universe. So Kevin Feige really is, in the movie industry, a legend, not just in Marvel Studios, of course in Marvel Studios, but in the movie industry in general. He's amazing. So the question is, where does Kevin Feige go from here? Does he stay at Marvel Studios the rest of his life, or does he have bigger aspirations? Well, as sad as it is to say, he probably has bigger aspirations. You know he loves Marvel, you know he's a big comic book fan, and like I said, he's been with Marvel since the first X-Men movie in the year 2000. He loves Marvel, but does that mean he won't advance in his career? Of course not, especially when that advancement would still have him overseeing Marvel Studios, what he loves. And do keep in mind that he does also love Star Wars, and he loves the movie industry and movies and shows in general. He's a huge fan of movies and TV, and he's done an incredible job with the MCU, so no doubt that if he did get this position of being in charge over all movies, shows, media, music at Disney, he would do an incredible job. And something else to really keep in mind is that Bob Iger really likes Kevin Feige. In fact, Bob Iger saved Kevin Feige from being fired by Ike Perlmutter in 2015. So right now, if Alan Bergman could possibly be the new CEO of Disney when Bob Iger leaves, Kevin Feige would probably have the votes to move into his position after that, as chairman of Walt Disney Studios, and we would be happy for him, we really would. Now, of course, this sparks the question of who would take Kevin Feige's spot, and honestly, my vote right now would be Jon Favreau, because he has also been there since the inception of the MCU with Iron Man 1, and he's been an executive producer for a very long time now, again, since Iron Man, and he's done a lot of work for Disney in general over with The Mandalorian, and he's just an all-around really great person. So if Jon Favreau could step into the position of Marvel Studios president after Kevin Feige moves up with Disney, I think that would work out very well, but go ahead and let us know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Pour your hearts out in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all of the latest MCU news. You can always follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.